The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim is who we're going to talk about for the AL West. And you brought an interesting topic my way today, talking from MLB Trade Rumors brought out this thing. Nick Deeds had an interesting article talking about the Angels looking to increase their workload for the top starters. Now, Angels manager Bill Nevins was talking to reporters, during pitchers and catchers reported, and he talked about how he wants some of their top end guys, such as Shohei Ohtani, to get more in the mix and more action on the mound and having that quote rigid 6-man rotation. I think it's pretty interesting. Obviously, Ohtani, we already see him as a two-way player. Nevin wants to give him even more work. Now, he is arguably the best player in all of baseball, because what he does on both sides of the baseball. However, when is it too much for this guy? Or is too much not an answer? It's an interesting concept, especially when you're in a free agent year like Ohtani is going to be. How far do you push that button? And of course, the rest of that rotation. Sean, what's your thoughts on this?
It's a fascinating comment to come out and say, given the state of the Angels rotation. If you want to talk about increasing their workload, let's just back that truck up and can they even handle the 6-man rotation workload? You've got Patrick Sandoval, who 14 games in 2021, Noah Syndergaard, who has a long list of not being healthy. So to me, if you want to talk about like workload for your pitchers, let's just get them through a full season first. And as far as adding Shohei Ohtani into that, you don't often hear like the workhorse of the team, and I'm going to throw him in there because he plays both sides of the ball, so he plays more than anybody in baseball. To me, asking him to do even more is like, what are you doing? You would think it would be the other way around. Everybody but Shohei Ohtani, we need you to pitch more. Shohei, you just keep doing you, bud. Keep you happy so that you stay here in Anaheim for a very long time. But to ask him to do more than he's already done, that to me is very interesting. And maybe this will be the test to find out if he really was made in a lab somewhere, just to see if he can handle that. That would be interesting to see. But to me, it's just an odd comment when your pitchers, your rotation isn't all that reliable to begin with.
I'm completely with you, and I'm kind of stunned on that. Obviously, we have Ohtani. We know what's going to happen with that. As you mentioned, Syndergaard, he had his ups and downs last season. He got traded to Philly. Now he's with the Dodgers, a crosstown team. They did bring in, from the Dodgers, they did bring in Tyler Anderson, who did throw 178 innings last year. So if you're trying to make your workload a little bit more top-heavy, you can go Ohtani, Anderson. Hopefully you can get 150 plus from both of them. If they're healthy, that might help the entire conversation alone, just with those two. Obviously, Red Detmers can play as well. But then you talk about guys like Griffin Canning, who, yes, looks healthy this year, but after a long layoff, has only pitched hasn't pitched more than 100 innings in one season. So there's just a lot of question marks for this Angels team on the rotation if they can be this workhorse kind of style. I just can't see it. I think that they're going to maybe try this structure initial, and then as soon as one injury hits, they're going to have to go back right away to the 6-man rotation or whatever this swingman style they're thinking about. But I don't think you're going to see guys that at the top of this rotation have a plethora or an extensive amount of innings compared to what they had last season.
Right, and we're looking at a rotation. Suarez and Detmers both projected at 120 innings, up to 140 maybe. I just don't see how they're going to expect more. Let's get you consistent first. Then we can have that more conversation. To me, it's just an odd comment.
Obviously, you got Shohei Ohtani as your ace. He also plays two-way player and is a fantastic bat. Before we head off this conversation, we have to ask the question. This season, a contract year. Everybody's talking about how they want to make sure he stays as an Angel. Mike Trout came out saying he'll do anything it takes to make sure he stays with the Angels. Shohei Ohtani, does this kind of this performance, this behavior by Phil Nevin saying, "Hey, we want you to pitch more." Do you think this is something that Ohtani wants, or is this something that might make him bat less, or is this something that we probably shouldn't pay attention to too closely?
I'm not sure right now where we are in spring training just starting. I don't know that it's not something that we should be looking and checking every single day. However, it will be interesting to follow as the season goes, especially if the Angels start to fall out of it with the Rangers and the Astros, built to win. If they start to fall out of it, are they going to stick with that game plan still? That would make even less sense, I think. What I'm really interested in is finding out exactly what Mr. Trout means by he'll do anything to keep Ohtani in Anaheim. That I would love to know what that means, because what does anything mean exactly? You're going to take less money? You're gonna help him move into a home permanently? Like, what is that? I'll help you move. I don't know. Like, I'll take you out to dinner. I don't know what that means, and I would love to.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Let's pay attention to that as the season rolls along.